Marie Tendler, and welcome to Coven Quorum. This is an advice column. You submit questions, queries, conundrums, and I supply the answer. First things first, I am an expert in nothing. I have no credentials. I am not qualified. I'm just a girl with a useless master's degree, DBT skills, and a lot of therapy experience. Let's get started. Hello, it's me, Anna Marie Tendler. I already introduced myself in the intro, but here I am again. Welcome to Coven Quorum. This is my first episode, and I expect it may not go so well. Thank you for being here. I received so far 140 questions. Some of them are very funny. Some of them are very heartwarming. Some of them are I am so unqualified to answer them that I will not even try. Now, you can't see this. My cat Moon, she is staring at me. And she is like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? I have a question for you. Hi, Mooney. Why are podcasts now TV shows? Why are they videos? That's my question for you. You don't need to answer it. It's a rhetorical, sort of, but it's also a real question I have because I don't quite understand it. I am filming a little bit on my phone. I'm filming it a little bit, but these are just for clips for social media. Mostly, this is audio only. I don't need you to be seeing me while I'm talking. I don't need that in my life. Okay, I'm going to kick it off telling you that I was very, very sick 2 weeks ago. I did get an ear infection in both ears. Then my eardrum ruptured, and I woke up one morning with a little bit of blood coming out of my ear. Is this a good way to start? Well, blood came out of my ear because my eardrum ruptured. I've been to the doctors 3 times. I had to go to urgent care because I thought that my ear infection was coming back. I went there. They said, it's not. You have fluid trapped behind your ear. It is pressing on the perforation of your eardrum. That's why it hurts. Take some goddamn Advil. I didn't take Advil because ibuprofen gives me a migraine. I took a leave. Now that I've gotten that important information out of the way, I say we begin. The first question, hang on, I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. The first question comes from Herb from possibly Europe. I'm in my early 20s and living at home with my dad. He's always been very overprotective and maybe a bit strict. A few months ago, I met a guy online and we really hit it off and have been in a relationship for a while now. We are from 2 different countries that aren't that far apart but still a flight away. He wants to come visit me later this year and I really, really want to meet him. I'm just so terrified of telling my dad. How do I tell my dad I want to meet this random stranger I met on the internet? Herb, I'm curious why you have to tell your dad. And I can really only come up with one reason why he may need to know, and that is because you are perhaps, I'm making an assumption here, perhaps you are thinking that this random man from the internet, your words, is going to stay with you. Herb, that would be an absolutely horrible idea. This man, under no circumstances, should be staying with you. He should be staying in a hotel or an Airbnb. I get that he has to fly to you, so maybe also staying in a hotel or an Airbnb is a lot financially. If you're comfortable with it, perhaps you could offer to split that cost with him. If he is not staying with you, there is no reason for you to tell your dad. Now, I must do my due diligence. Herb, I need to know, because I just want to make sure, because I'm just looking out for you, I need to know that you have verified that this man is a real person. I want you to have had a conversation with him on a video messaging platform. I'm talking a Zoom. I'm talking a Skype, but Skype doesn't exist anymore. I'm talking a FaceTime. So basically, I'm talking about a Zoom or a FaceTime. But I want you to have seen a man with a mouth moving, a video that you have seen, and you can 100% confirm that this man is not AI. He is not a robot. I want this person to be who he says he is because I'm invested now in the story. And I have seen, oh my goodness, I have seen every single one of the 3-part Hulu docuseries on men who are swindling people on the internet. And guess what? They always have a reason why they can't FaceTime. My phone battery died. I don't have service anymore. Oh, I have to go pick up my donkey from the groomer. They're sending photos of themselves, poorly photoshopped photos of them on oil rigs. This is happening. They're telling women that they love them, and then 2 months later, boom, your bank account is empty. I just want to make sure that this man has not asked you for your bank account number or your social security number. You are in Europe. Do they have social security numbers there? I do not know. That seems like something I should know, but I sure don't. Also, a good idea is to have a friend text you or call you halfway through your first day with this person, make sure everything's okay. I am in a relationship right now, but on my first date, he didn't live in New York. I didn't live in New York. We met in New York. My friends knew where I was. I was in Prospect Park. Halfway through the date, my friend Kim texted me. She said, "How's it going?" I said, "Kim, it's going great. Thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate our friendship." It has happened that someone has called me halfway through, and I have said, "I need you to call me back. I need you to fake an emergency so I can get out of this God-forsaken situation." That is the thing I have done. Maybe give someone your location, like on your phone. I do this sometimes when I go hiking. I text my most responsible friend, Holly. I say, "I'm going to share my location with you." She says, "Okay." I go hiking. She knows where I am. This is different than going on a date, but on either one, I could be murdered. I'm just throwing these out as systems you can have in place. Isn't it fun being a woman? My goodness. Good luck to you, Herb. Next up, we have Maria from Florida. In parentheses, yikes, I know. Maria, don't feel bad for being from Florida, or I don't know, maybe you're not from Florida, maybe you just live in Florida. But don't feel bad. I have like 2 friends from Florida, and they're really cool. I also simply love a Miami vacation. I go there for little weekend trips with my girlfriend sometimes. We stayed at a hotel called the Confidant. The Confidant had great beach access, but they refused to give you lids for your coffee in the morning. If you asked for a lid, they would say no. No lids. You might notice that I'm referring to the Confidant in the past tense. This is because the Confidant no longer exists. It is now the Andaz. I do not know if it has opened yet. I think it opened, and then there was some sort of kerfuffle, and it closed again. I don't know. I haven't stayed there yet. This is not an ad, however. If anyone from the Andaz is listening, I will absolutely take a free room, preferably with no strings attached. I just need to know, will lids be available to me? Maria writes, "How do you tackle the fear of failure as a creative person? I'm 21 and an aspiring author, screenwriter, and I've just graduated college with my bachelor's degree. I have this insane anxiety that I have no actual talents and that being a professional writer is a pipe dream. Yet, it's all I've ever wanted to do with my life, and I can't imagine doing anything else. How do I calm down?" Psst, Maria, have you tried SSRIs? I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I take Zoloft. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't help you there. But Fear of failure as a creative person. Here's what I will say. Be prepared to wrestle with the fear of failure for the rest of your life. You may be afraid of failing until the end of time. Now, I'm not saying that to deter you from being a writer or a screenwriter. I'm just saying the hard facts, okay? From the outside, someone might look at my career and go, oh, she doesn't seem afraid of failure. Well, Maria, let me tell you about a dream I had last night. This is a dream I had. I said it was last night. It wasn't last night. It was like last week. I went to my editor, who I'm doing a book with, a new book with, but he's my same editor from the old book. Well, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack this. We're going into the dream states. Episode 1 is too early for dreams, but I'm going there. Before my memoir came out, I had a dream that my editor told me that I was an embarrassment. I was embarrassment to everyone at the publisher, okay? My memoir debuted at number 2 on the New York Times bestsellers list. Yet my subconscious wanted to remind me that I think that my editor might find me to be an embarrassment, not just to him, but to all of Simon & Schuster. Okay, so now my dream the other night, I go to my editor. His name is Sean. I go, Sean, this is my dream, okay? In my dream, I go to Sean. I say, Sean, no one takes me seriously. No one takes me seriously because I do not have an MFA. In order to be taken seriously as a writer, I have to get an MFA. So I'm enrolling back in school so I can get an MFA so that people can take me seriously. I enroll in an MFA. I go to my first class. My teacher is Sean. He says to me, he's like, why are you here? You already have a book deal. You don't need an MFA. And I'm like, but no one's going to take me seriously. And he says, okay. And so he assigns me so much homework that I cry, and I realize he is trying to get me to drop out of the program. This is what my subconscious is doing to me. So fear of failure is never going away. Are these dreams applicable to you? I have no idea. But I will tell you that in my real life, in my waking life, which is probably where I should be pulling my information from, not from my dream states, but in my waking life, there are some days that I believe that everyone thinks I'm a fraud and that no one thinks that I'm good at what I do, and everyone's just being nice to my face, and they're talking shit about me behind my back, which honestly is such a narcissistic point of view because I don't think anyone really is thinking about me at all. That's the fact. No one's thinking about you because we're all thinking about ourselves. You cannot and you should not let fear of failure stop you from what you really want to do, is what I think. Because I think that no matter where you pivoted to, if you have a sensitive spirit, if you have a creative spirit, you are going to be afraid of failure. Because, right, part of creativity is like you're putting yourself out there, you're sort of opening yourself up to people. And most creative endeavors and creative careers, they kind of live and die by other people's opinions of them. Are enough people buying your book? Are enough people seeing your movie? So we, the creatives of the world, we're so sensitive, but we subject ourselves to this world where everyone is making a judgment on what we do. And that is just what it is. Here's how I think about it for me. Fear of failure will always be lurking in my shadows, but I am proud of my work, and I remind myself that that is the only thing that I have control over. And so all you can do is be happy with what you put out into the world. Next up, we have Eva from New Jersey. Her question, also career related, which is funny. So many people are asking me career things. I fumbled into my career. But Eva writes, or Eva, I'm not sure. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Hi. I'm in my 20s, and I feel discouraged about the job market and career options as companies are hiring less and less with our inflation rising. Oh my God, what a thing to have to worry about in your 20s. I'm not asking for career advice. However, how do I not take on the feeling of being rejected from companies when I apply for a job? How to not feel like it's a reflection of me, and how to not let it affect my self-worth. To that I'll say, if anyone says that they get rejected from something and they don't feel a little bad about it, you can assume that person is a liar. Everyone feels a little bad about being rejected. That's what it is. That's what it is to be human. Again, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you. And I truly believe if the job doesn't want you, then you don't want the job. You know, you're not the right person for that job. And you could say, how do I feel like it's not a reflection of me? Perhaps it is a reflection of you. But oh my God, before you get so mad at me, I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't mean like a reflection of our core being, but also, do we even have a core being? Do we even exist? Maybe you're not the person for the job. There's someone else. Maybe there's someone else who is slightly more qualified, or maybe you're way overqualified. These things are going to affect our self-worth, I'm sure, in the short term. It's just about learning how to get over those things. When I was in graduate school, I applied for an internship at the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, 3 times. Guess how many times I was rejected? If you guessed 3, you are correct. I was rejected 3 times. I was never an intern at the Met. A few of my classmates were. I never was. Did that feel good? No, it did not. The goal should not be to not feel the feeling of rejection. That would be a Sisyphean task. The goal is to recognize that you feel the rejection, that you feel knocked back a bit, and then learn how to move forward from that. Feel the rejection, recognize it, and then let it go. If you don't ignore the feeling, I think that you'll find as you face more rejection, because guess what? Life is full of rejection. You will find that the rejection feels less and less potent. Now for a segment I simply call No. E from New York City says, my 10-year relationship has come to an end because my fiancé says he must burn down our current relationship to rebuild a new one. What do we think? Do I wait for him? No. Pete from Montreal asks, if you had a dream where one of your friends died, should you tell him about it? No. And lastly, Scout from the Upper West Side asks, I've been married to a habitual liar for 9 years. He says he'll stop and he keeps doing it. It's an endless cycle. What should I do? No. And by no, I mean, if you can, get out of it as soon as possible. Boy, oh boy, would I love it if Scout and E could find each other in New York City and be friends. Hey, guess what? My New York Times best-selling memoir, Men Have Called Her Crazy, is now available in paperback. Paperback is cool because it's cheaper than hardcover and it's easier to carry around. Wondering if you should buy it? Don't take it from me, I'm biased. Take it from some of the other people who have written very nice things about it. Like Shannon Carlin from Time, who says, it's a stunning self-portrait of a woman trying to make sense of misogyny and sexism. Lauren Melching from The Guardian says it's a modern-day The Bell Jar. Mara Judkis from The Washington Post says dark wit and a shrewd eye for absurdities. Lastly, Wilson Wong from the New York Times Book Review says it is equally evocative and devastating. Men Have Called Her Crazy in paperback is now available wherever you buy books. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for reading. Thank you so much for joining Coven Quorum. Coven Quorum is written, produced, and edited by me, AMT. The intro and outro song is Friend or Foe by Esther Rose. If you would like to submit a question, you will find the link to do so at the About page on my Substack, annamarietendler.substack.com, or in the bio of my Instagram, @AnnaMTendler. Until next time, take care.